Listen to the Tommy Schnurmacher Show live weekdays 9 to noon on CJAD 800 and CJAD.com.
November almost over, which means that the holidays are right around the corner. And you know what that means? An empty wallet, bank accounts in the red, a whole mountain of debt to ring in the new year. Doesn't sound too festive now, does it? Our next guest, personal finance guru, founder of MaxWorth.ca, Lama Farhan. Welcome back.
Thank you.
First of all, a personal question. How do you control your spending during the holiday season?
I plan. And I don't cave into the pressure. There's unspoken rules about the holidays is that you have to buy every single human being a gift. Really, you don't. You can make up your own rules. And I read something interesting the other day. It's this family who basically came up with this very creative way of gifting for Christmas. They said anything you gift has to be either handmade by yourself or free or recycled. So that really forces you to become creative in the way you gift instead of just going to the mall and picking out gifts and putting them in a little box. So really thinking outside the box.
So give me some examples of what you could give as a gift.
Well, you could, for example, let's say you don't have kids yourself and you have a little bit of time, you have sanity, and your friend has kids. So you could, for example, make up a little gift certificate for babysitting. I promise you, your friend is going to love you for babysitting her kids if she can go have a night out with her husband.
Right.
And, it doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost you anything, and it's worth $50, $60 for her.
At least.
Right.
So, this is something you can do. And get inspired from your hobbies. Right? For example, you're into photography, or you're into scrapbooking, or you're into baking, or something. So get inspired from your hobbies to make things that don't cost you money.
Right. And if you like baking, then you could literally bake people a cake, right?
Yeah. It's much more personal. It's nicer.
Now, what if you have people who they're having trouble making ends meet? Their credit cards are maxed out, and they say, "Oh, Christmas is coming." Well, they're going to limit. They're only going to spend $500 or $1,000. Is that the right thing to say?
Well, it depends what their situation is. But if you have the $500 in cash with you, then, and if you're okay with spending it on gifts, then fine. But don't put it on the $500 on your credit card, and then January comes, you're like, how am I paying for this? So if you go shopping with cash or debit card, you'll be less tempted to go over budget as well. The other way you can get things for free or almost for free is, let's say you have reward points, right, with Airplan or Air Miles or any loyalty programs. You can exchange your points for gift cards with all these programs. So you can order gift cards and give them as gifts.
Oh, and you've used up your own points and haven't spent any money.
Exactly.
All right, this one's, what about this suggestion, this texter saying, our family draws names and sets a spending limit?
Yeah, that's very good. And also, for the little gift, for little kids, they seriously don't know the difference between a brand new toy and a gently used toy from Kijiji. And if you have little kids who are 5, 6, 7 years old, I really encourage you to go buy secondhand for them and wrap them up, and they won't know the difference.
Is your son is 6 years old. Is he listening to the show right now?
No, he's in school.
He's in school. Okay, so what's he getting for Christmas?
Well, he's getting one thing only. And the thing is, his birthday comes up in January, so right after. And we talked about this already. For his birthday, he wants to invite his school friends. We said no problem. But we agreed that we're going to ask all the attendees to actually give money to charity. And not bring a gift to his birthday. And I'm going to buy him one gift only.
How was he about the giving of the gifts to charity and not for him on his birthday?
He was very okay with it once he understood why we're doing that. I told him there's many, many kids who have absolutely nothing, who need more important things than he needs the little toys. Are you okay with giving it? He said yes.
And he's 6 years old, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what's his present? What's his present going to be? If he's not listening, he won't find out. It'll still
no,
be a
it's
surprise.
a scooter because he lost his scooter and he loved it, so we're replacing it basically.
Okay, well, if you know him, don't tell him. It's going to be got to be a surprise. The whole idea is many people say that they don't have the money now. They're going to put it on their credit card and pay it down slowly during the course of the year. What would you say to them?
I say do the opposite exactly of that, which is instead of paying it down from January to December, how about in January you start saving so that next December you have the money. So let's say for this December, it's kind of too late to plan ahead that much in advance. But let's say at the end of December, you realize, you know what, this holiday season cost me around $600. Well, 600 divided by 12 is $50. So starting January, put $50 aside in a savings account, call it Christmas, and by December 2015, you'll have your $600 ready. So you kind of do the opposite of what you just said.
Now, when people are making their decisions, when they have issues of debt and at the same time trying to buy gifts at Christmas, I've heard of cases where somebody says, well, we're in a pretty bad situation. I mean, there's money coming in, but, we've got lots of debt on our credit card. I don't want to tell my spouse. I wouldn't want to worry her about it because that's just going to make it worse. The less she knows, the better. What would you say to someone like that?
I really disagree with that. Like, honesty when it comes to financial well-being is really important. If you can't tell your spouse that you don't have the budget for it, it's something in it, something deeper there of an issue. Because it's really important to be honest, even not just with your spouse, even if you have older kids or they're 13, 14, tell them, you know what, you don't need to tell them all the debts and everything you have, but you can explain to them, things are different this year, money is not exactly where we were last year, and we're just going to be limiting a bit more. And then you can compensate with the quality of things, or with the time, the family time, with the, with other things that are really what the holidays are about.
And how do you get that for people who are listening now and they realize that they're in a dire situation, they want to get that conversation started with their spouse. How would that conversation get started?
Well, you can start with just especially with your spouse, they have to know where your finances are, according to me. So you can tell them, you know what, this is where we are. This is the debts we're dealing with. This is our situation. Where do you think we can get the money for Christmas? Put the decision in their hand, right? And if they can't come up with the money, then here you go. Your job is done.
Your questions for personal finance expert Lama Farhan. What if you're very tempted? You're at the stores and you see just beautiful gifts. Did you just throw your list away, whatever you had when you walked in the store?
No,
I really buy it because it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so. Well, I have a spreadsheet on my website. If you go under tools on maxworth.ca under tools, it's a spreadsheet you can download. And basically, I recommend to put the name of each person you want to give to, an idea of the gift, and an amount, and go to the mall with that list so that you can try to stick with the amounts. And even better, don't even go to the mall because no, but I mean, if you do online shopping, you'll be really less tempted to pick up things. You'll be able to compare prices better because you can jump from one website to another, and you're going to be in a better situation to stick with your budget as well.
Your questions for a personal finance expert, Lama Farhan. Her wonderful website is maxworth.ca. Text your questions right now to 514-800. Your questions for personal finance expert, Lama Farhan. Lots of questions coming in for you. When considering hiring a money coach, can we be assured of confidentiality? And how does a coach differ from an indifferent or an opportunistic bank financial advisor?
Okay, well, I'm not a bank advisor. I don't look at your investments. I look at the bottom line. I look at how much money is coming in, where is it going, what are your goals, and how can we match your goals with the money that's coming in. And confidentiality, I mean, I used to work at the bank, and they're very big on confidentiality, and this is where I learned some of it from. And I keep all my clients' information very, very safe. And I never, ever discuss anything with anybody, right? It's all anonymous. Even the testimonials on my website, it's just initials of clients. I don't even put clients' names there.
This texter, John, wants to know, he says, we used to do a gift exchange. Now we pool our money and make a donation to a needy family. Much more satisfying. This
is what the holidays are about. It's about giving and getting satisfaction from giving, right? If you're giving and you're being stressed out because you're giving gifts from money that you don't have, then what's the point, really?
And in many cases, you're giving gifts that people don't really want. They're embarrassed to tell you they don't want them. They're going to re-gift them afterwards anyway.
Exactly. Or they're going to go return them. Or a year later, they're not going to remember what you bought them.
This texture also weighing in on this subject says, money's tight this year as we had a big basement renovation that was unexpected. I've taken up crochet again. I'm making goodies for my family. I can't wait to give these gifts. I feel so proud of them, both financially and artistically.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes back to what I was saying, like use your hobbies and what you're good at to do this. Even myself, actually, a couple of years ago, I got into knitting, right? And I knitted like so many scarves to everybody and they loved it. And I had like little handmade tags that I put, handmade by me with love, whatever. So you can become creative and use your hobbies to gift, and people will appreciate it more.
How do you control how much you spend on children? What tips would you have for what's a quote-unquote sensible amount to spend?
Children don't know how much you're spending. If you buy them a gift for $10 or $50, honestly, they're not going to know the difference.
It depends on the kids, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and even if you buy it secondhand, I can assure you they're not going to know. I know because right now I take care of, my kids take care of their toys really well, and I keep the boxes. So when they're done with their toys, I literally put it back in the box and I put it on Kijiji and I sell it. And I can tell you, just last week, I sold 4 toys because I think people are going on Kijiji to buy these toys for their kids. And they're in very good shape in an original box with the instructions and everything's there. So go that way. The kid is not going to know how much you spent.
And also when you're selling stuff on Kijiji, you're selling it, they're coming over to your house to look at the toy?
Yeah.
You're not nervous about strangers coming to your house?
Not really, especially kids stuff. I know it's usually moms who come by, or I find it's okay from safety perspective.
Personal finance expert Lama Farhan, I guess, should you include, when you're making a budget, if you are in fact making a budget for Christmas, should you include all the extras like decorations or food for Christmas supper?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those add up, especially the greeting cards, stamps, shipping. You have Family in Ontario, stamps went up this year. You have the wine, the chocolate boxes, the new clothes that you need. It's just, the list is endless. So really, you have to sit down and, you can use the spreadsheet that I have on my website to think of all these things. And I have some of them listed to not miss any.
This texter wants to know, with credit card debt rising, is paying for balance protection insurance a good idea?
That's the worst idea ever. If you use the money from the credit card insurance, whatever it's called, and put it on your credit card, you'll be much better off.
And they're expensive, aren't they?
They're very expensive. And, they use people's fear that they're going to die and they're going to have this credit card, or they're going to go be sick and they're still going to have their credit card. So don't cave into this fear. If you have a decent life insurance or decent disability insurance, then you don't need credit card insurance.
This is a very interesting test. My wife always buys me a gift that she gets to use more than I do. So this year I told her your Christmas gift will be a new microwave. Your questions for Lama Farhan, personal finance expert. Text your questions, your comments to 514-800. Personal finance expert Lana Farhan, my guest. This texter wants to know, what's your guest's website? I just tuned in. It's maxworth.ca. Maxworth.ca. This texter saying, we had neighbors whose young kids would always let everyone know how expensive their toys were. So sad their parents taught them that this meant value.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody is a good role model, and you can tell it's not about the value of the gift, right? There's the value and the price, so it's differentiating between the price and the value. So those parents were more focusing on the price of the gifts.
What's better, cash or debit cards when you go shopping?
Really, I think cash, because it hurts more, right? It just, when you pull it out of your wallet and you put it there, you have a
sense of what you're doing, right?
I always compare it with when you go to the casino, right? They don't let you gamble with cash because they want you to play more. So they give you little chips that you have like no emotional connection to.
Right, they're toys.
Exactly. Right. So it doesn't hurt as much.
Right, and a $100 chip or a $25 chip or a $5 chip is the same weight. They're just a little different color, right?
So.
Now, we were talking before about, like kids, you mentioned, Lama, that kids don't know the price of toys. This texter saying kids don't know, but parents know.
Yeah, well, it is the parents' job as a role model to teach their kids about, it's not about how much it costs. It's about what is it bringing to you. So it's really the parents' job to do a better job with their kids.
A month away from Christmas, from what you've done over the last few years as a financial consultant, what's the biggest mistake that people make at this time of year?
Well, really, is that they cave in They feel the pressure that they have to go with whatever's society's telling them to. I mean, look, we didn't even have Black Fridays. Now retailers are jumping on Black Fridays just to make you spend even more. Really, you don't have to believe into Black Friday and Boxing Day and this and that. You can just stay at home and still be okay.
This texter says, as a couple, we make a good income but struggle week to week because of debts. What can we expect, and what do you expect to see from the people you coach?
Well, I see it's really depending on how disciplined the person is, first of all. But if when they follow the plan that I set out and they do the work and they're ready to get out of the comfort zone, this is the important thing. They really see results. I've seen people completely flipping after a few months.
And what are some of the first things that they would do to start if they were starting with you?
Well, first of all, I would ask them to start tracking. I want to know where their money is going today. Right. And from there, we come up with a plan to better allocate that money. But if you come to me and you tell me I have no clue where my money is going, the first step I'm going to tell you is like, okay, I need you to track for the next few months to let me know where your money is going.
Do many people not have an idea of where their money is going?
A lot of people have no clue. It's like the biggest mystery ever. It's like, I don't know where my money disappears.
Thank you very much, Lama. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Lama Farhan, personal finance expert. Her website, MaxWorth.ca. If you have something on your mind, a story we should cover, an interesting person we should know, our inbox is waiting for your email, Tommy@CJAD.com. If you need information on any of our guests, you go to my show page.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800, CJAD.com.